Dating should be simple, but for most people it's become this overcomplicated struggle. They either choose the wrong person, get misled by terrible advice, or are not ready for a healthy relationship themselves. This leads to couples who lack genuine desire and shared values, which almost always ends up badly. People are settling for less than what they truly want. They get blinded by their infatuation or obsession for someone, or they aren't honest with themselves or each other. Some enter dating and relationships out of societal pressure or loneliness, or they fake their whole personality and assume that attraction alone is enough to sustain things. Then you've got all these dating influencers and coaches and experts online who just make things worse. Most of them treat dating and love like some type of strategic game where you can win anyone over. So the focus is more on petty tactics, such as playing hard to get, keeping backup options to make them interested in you, or just manipulating them into wanting you. In general, the message you get is to use different strategies to force an interest in you, to cope with the fact that there wasn't enough to begin with. But if you want the basic truth that will solve most of your dating problems, it's that when a man and a woman genuinely desire and respect each other, they will not be playing any of these games. There will be no mixed signals and there will be no strategies to keep them interested. As long as you are both mature, decent people with similar values, then you can focus on the basics early on in dating, which is building a true, genuine connection on a foundation of honesty and shared values. Now this might sound simple, but with all the BS advice flying around and desperation nowadays, this basic truth often gets forgotten, or at least pushed aside when we want to make excuses for the dating problems that we're having. So in this video, I'm going to tell you why you might be struggling with dating and what it should look like. Let's assume that you are a decent and honest person who just wants a long-term relationship. The main reason you might be struggling with those early stages of dating, maybe people are going hot and cold on you, they're not committing to you, they're ghosting you and even cheating on you, is because you are choosing the wrong person or you're making excuses to stay with them. More likely than not, you're ignoring the red flags, you're hoping that someone will change for you, or you're more interested in impressing them than seeing if you're compatible. Usually people don't date with a clear intention from the start, or they suppress it out of fear, hoping that things will just magically work out instead. And of course this is going to backfire on you, because you haven't even bothered to try and check if this person is right for you before seriously dating them. If you make your goals clear and say that you're dating to marry, for example, and when you say this the other person gives a vague response or hesitates and says something like, "I just go off energy," then that's a clear sign for you to nip it in the bud and walk away before any attachment forms. You literally have nothing to lose at this point, but most people will avoid this conversation and just carry on dating them because it's convenient or because they're too lonely, until there's an obvious mismatch in their needs and expectations. So this is why it sets you up for failure from the start. Now just to be clear, I'm not saying that similar goals and values alone are going to guarantee a successful relationship, but they are essential to one. You still do need to have communication skills, maturity, and a constant willingness to show up for your partner in the long term. It also really helps if you are not riddled with insecurities and baggage, because every relationship has problems, but it's the couples who have integrity, respect, and a genuine desire for each other who are able to work together to solve these problems. Neither partner is going to immediately walk away or look for attention and validation elsewhere just because things get a little bit shaky. It'll take a lot more for the relationship to end than that. So I've mentioned this genuine desire thing a few times, but where does it actually come from? Well, it's actually a feeling that naturally comes when you find yourself drawn to someone, you're emotionally connected, and there's an alignment in your values and beliefs. This is exactly why I'm saying that if these things are not present from the start, then trying to force desire often just leads to disappointment and hurt. When you do date someone properly, there's this initial attraction that comes from looks and chemistry together. This attraction deepens as you connect on a personal level and you feel seen and understood emotionally. But attraction alone isn't enough, because over time, it's those values and compatibility that comes into play and determines whether or not your relationship is gonna last. Think about your platonic relationships too, for example, friends and family members. You'll find that the people who you're really closest with are usually the ones who share your values and beliefs. And it's the same principle with romance, except of course for the sexual desire and attraction too. And it's even more important then, because if you want to spend the rest of your life with someone so intimately, then your values better align. Because if they don't, then even if you really like this person and enjoy spending time with them, eventually serious problems will arise, the type that you can't just keep sweeping under the rug. See, what you ignore at the start is what will eventually come to bite you in the ass in the end. For example, if you're a strict Catholic, while they don't believe in God and instead believe in astrology and magic, or if you are seeking commitment while they're just looking for fun, then this is obviously going to lead to hurt down the line, whether you admit it now or not. Now, when there is genuine desire present, on the other hand, there'll be no doubt in your mind or in theirs. There'll be no mixed signals. Neither of you will even want to look at another person, let alone entertain them. There's not even this concept of clinginess anymore, because you both crave each other's presence. Obviously, I don't mean 24/7 all the time, stuck to each other like glue, but most of your free time will probably be spent together, because that's what you both really want. That's what happens when you choose someone you're compatible with whom there's a genuine mutual desire. The word effortless gets used a lot because that's literally how it feels. Part of the issue, of course, is that we're being fed this bullshit advice that overcomplicates dating and creates this toxic environment for everyone. On one hand, you've got men saying you need to keep your options open so that she chases you, and on the other hand, you've got women saying that you need to play hard to get so that he chases you. These are just examples of ways to cope for a lack of genuine desire. Don't text them back too fast, make them jealous, mirror their energy, become high value. It's all just BS. But when you're looking for excuses to get with the wrong people and to not let them go instead of just walking away and finding someone who is compatible with you, then of course you're gonna play these games. I'm telling you right now, whether you're a man or a woman and you come across all these cringy videos online that promote playing games, you know, I've seen titles such as dark manipulation for females or all this high value stuff when it comes to men. Do not buy into these games, because they are simply a way to cope for a lack of desire. And just because they might work initially does not mean that they will keep you in a healthy long-term relationship. All it's going to do is make you conditioned into chasing the wrong things and keeping you stuck in these toxic cycles when it comes to dating. At the end of the day, when you are emotionally mature and ready for a relationship, then dating is really simple. But most people make it difficult for themselves by choosing the wrong person, following bad advice, or ignoring reality. You don't need to manipulate someone into liking you. You don't need to play games to make them interested. You only need to find someone who wants you as much as you want them, and who shares your values and beliefs. And I promise you, if you do that from the start, then 99% of your dating problems will disappear. So that's all for this video. I hope you could find some value from it, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you in my next one.